Oh, what's going on, guys? No, Quinn69 here. How you guys doing? Today, I'm bringing you guys a guide on the Templar, specifically. It's kind of like showing you guys how to min-max his DPS. A lot of you guys would think that he doesn't do that much damage. But yeah, I haven't even fully min-maxed my guy, and he's already doing 42 million damage per second. Okay? An average boss fight of like 8 minutes. That's over 20 billion damage, throughout the entire boss fight. On a Stone Slinger, he makes up, 10 to 20% of my overall damage. Quite substantial. Obviously, it's going to benefit, say, monks and, barbarians, and anything that kind of, if you think you're lacking single target damage, this guy's going to help you. It does require a lot of farming and a lot of specific gear to kind of get your guy pimped out. But it is a bit of fun. He's almost like a little Pokemon or something. He's almost like a little Pokemon. You're like, yes, I'm getting loot for my Templar. I'm going to make him very, very powerful. I don't know. It's something's fun about making your Templar strong. I don't know what it is, but I really enjoy pimping my flippin' ride out. So anyway, how do we make him do so much damage? It's this ring right here, the Bulkarthos' Wedding Band. TLDR. It does 2,000% weapon damage per second. There's a big formula. It does. If you were to look it up, it would say it does 0.3% of the current monster's health damage per second, fractured into 2 segments. Blah blah blah. It's really kind of confusing. All you really need to know is it does 2,000% weapon damage per second. For 99% of the boss fight, and I'm talking versus Rift Guardians and Greater Rifts. And T6. Because it only does 0.3% of the current monster's health, capped at 2,000% weapon damage of your weapon, it's not as effective. So just think about this for Greater Rifts. It doesn't really help in T6 that much. It's more for Greater Rifts and speeding up your kill time on Greater Rift bosses. There's like a bit of controversy on the internet right now. A lot of people don't seem to know whether or not it scales with physical or elite damage. A couple of weeks ago, I was testing it. We found a bug, almost an exploit actually. It's been hotfixed, and now it is 100% working with physical damage and elite damage. Hence why we use the Sunkeeper and the Lidless Wall. They both give us elite damage and physical damage. So let's get into it. Let's kind of show you guys how to min-max this bad boy. So starting off, little bit of information that you guys need to know. Templar's crit hit damage is capped at 150%. Okay, so he is completely capped at 150% crit hit damage, and he starts off with 50%. So literally, all you need to make this bad boy here, make your Templar running at maximum efficiency with crit hit damage, is to just have a relic here which rolls 100%. I am going to roll this to 100% eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. The dream, guys, the dream. And the only other roll that matters on this thing here is the strength. Does it have 1,000 strength? Does it have 100 crit damage? If so, yes. And then that means you don't need any crit damage on any other of your gear. So do not take the rest. I'm going to go over the best stats as we go over the items. The best weapon here is the Sunkeeper, simply because it has elite damage. It rolls up to 30% elite damage here, up to 30% elite damage, up to 1,000 strength, and then you can get some weapon damage range on there. And then you can also put a red gem in there, because as you know, putting a green gem in there would be futile, as it's capped at 150%. It would do absolutely nothing. So you put a red gem in there to increase the weapon damage range, and obviously the Bulkarthos is capped by the weapon damage range. So you're directly increasing the damage of the BK ring. So this is what you want your Sunkeeper to look like. Right here, guys. Right here. This is a juicy, juicy Sunkeeper right here. As for your Wedding Band, you're going to want to have strength on that bad boy, crit chance, or you can have, the Dream Ring would be strength, crit chance, and weapon damage range. So minimum damage, max damage, and then a socket with more strength in it. The reason why we're stacking so much strength, I'll quickly go over it now. If you look here, strength is multiplied by 2.5 for followers. So you can see my follower here, he has 13k strength. That is flipping more main stat than I have, and he's not even fully optimized yet. I'm going to have this bad boy over 15k when I'm finished with him. And that increases the BK ring, hence why we're stacking so much of it. As for rings, you can either have, you can have your usual Unity combo one. So if you're playing a spec that's not immortal, I would highly suggest using a Unity here. And what you'd want on a Unity would be strength. You want elite damage. You want crit chance and a socket with more strength in it. That's all you want. But in my case, because I don't take any damage, so I can get more damage out of my Templar, it means I can have, a Stone of Jordan, which can have, elite damage. I can have, elite damage. I can have physical damage, and I can have strength with socket with more strength of it. So, and that means I get, more damage on my BK ring. So just note that if you're playing a Serenity Monk, you're not taking any damage. Oh crap! If you're playing a Serenity Monk, then yes, you can use a Soj. As for the necklace, you've got an option between an S of Johann. This is a pretty good looking S of Johann here, let's be honest here. This one here is pretty much the dream rolls. 20% physical, almost 1,000 strength, crit chance, and a socket with more strength in it. I forgot to mention, the reason why we're staking crit chance is because the Bulkarthos ring also multiplies with average crit. So average crit increases the damage of the BK ring. Hence why we like crit chance. That's why we like it. It increases the DPS of our BK ring. Very nice, very nice. And so anyway, those are the rolls you want. But look at this thing here. This is another amulet you can get. This is from Act 3 Caches. This is Overwhelming Desire. You completely ignore the rolls on it. We're just looking at the secondary there. Chance on hit to charm an enemy. While charmed, he takes 35% more damage. This does proc on, blues. It does proc on yellows. It doesn't proc on the Rift Guardian, which is unfortunate. But yeah, if you did want the perfect rolls on it, you want it to look like the SF Johann that I have here. You want it to look like that. But yeah, you need to farm quite a few of those to get that. The Littlest Wall here, this is the shield, which has elemental damage on it, aka physical damage. Gives you more BK ring damage. Then we can get strength on it, crit chance, and socket with more strength. And guys, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. Just stack the crap out of those things. Get a really mean BK ring. Get like a 6 Sunkeeper. Pimp your guy out, and you'll start seeing absurd numbers. Coming up just from your little Templar attacking. I'll quickly go over the spec my Templar's using. I decided to use the heal instead of the taunt. The taunt is kind of annoying as it fractures the mobs. It kind of splits the mobs up when you're trying to group them. So it's like counter density. So I prefer to have the heal. Then it's an option between slows and healing. So I prefer healing over, say, a slow, which can then, he can slow the mobs when you're just trying to group them up. Again, it doesn't really help you make density. Obviously, if you're playing a ranged class, and probably, I don't know, it's up to you really. And then you have a choice between a stun and straight damage. All right. So I've chosen the straight damage as the stun. What the stun does is every 10 seconds he stuns for 3 seconds. Right. He does that on the Rift Guardian. Say the Rift Guardian's about to summon adds. He can interrupt the summon. If he doesn't summon adds, that means we can't Exploding Palm. If we can't Exploding Palm, we can't do damage. And that's like a damage loss. So that's why we use Onslaught. It does 800% weapon damage. And, 800% weapon damage isn't bad, especially because we've got a lot of damage stacked. And he does scale with, that other stuff. So it's not bad. It's pretty pathetic, really. But, it's better than having a stun, which interrupts stuff. But yeah, for Demon Hunters or someone who doesn't want adds, this is obviously the better choice. And then for the final 2 skills, you probably can't see it as my camera's probably in the way. But it's your choice between Inspire. So that's 10% generation of, resources. Versus a heal. He heals you when you're low. Obviously, for softcore, it's probably the best choice for everyone. I mean, for monks especially, I can definitely say that. The Spirit Regen. It's a 1.1 multiplier. So all Spirit you regenerate, aka from Epiphany, from Generators, from everything, is increased by 10%. So it's really, really good for monks. But otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed the guide. It's kind of short, but hopefully we got the message across. And I always get questions on how do I min-max my Templar? How's your Templar doing so much damage? And that's how, boys. That's how right there. Peace out from me. If you enjoyed the guide, definitely consider following the stream. It's twitch.tv/Quinn69 up there. But otherwise, peace out. Have a good day. I flip and love you guys.